Hello everyone, transport enthusiast here, and today we are back in the past in the Mercedes-Benz O305 Addon, where today I will be doing a review and overview of what the first ever and the most classic Omsi 2 official DLC features. So we are here in a luxurious Mercedes-Benz bus, well, not as luxurious as a car, but it's got those fake leather seats. And today I will be showing you what this little add-on here entails. And I am aware that I'm a bit late to the party considering that this add-on has been around since the Omsi 1 days, but nonetheless, the box version was £10 on Amazon, and this is basically one of those must-have add-ons for any Omsi player. So, let's get into it. So today we'll be driving this manual boy here. We have our gearbox. So in most buses, you probably know that the gear switches are here on this side of the dashboard, but this one has a gear stick. Good old-fashioned bus it is indeed. Okie dokie. So, first thing you notice when you get in the bus is that interior-wise and exterior-wise, it is very nicely modeled. So it looks very much like these Mercedes-Benz O305 vehicles. And these vehicles actually are still in service in some parts of the world, although in some places they have been recently withdrawn since they are at this point nearing the end of their lives, being over 30 years old. Okay, so inside we've got our steering wheel and we've got our dash, and one of the things that the manual specifically says is that you may notice that this dash looks very similar to the dash of the MAN SD77. And likewise, the interior looks very similar as well, and the seats are almost identical. Now, some of the other things you may notice is while you have some nice features here, you can open up these windows. This part here is also noticeable in the MAN as well. Is that yeah, the detail here isn't very it's not the best quality. Like you can see here some pixelation. And then I don't even know what this is. Like this line clearly does not align with this line whatsoever. Okay, what's this? Interesting. One of the lines just randomly interferes and overbears this joke here. But yeah, Payware DLC, alright. And I'm not sure if this might be a floor panel or what, but it's really a bit it's a bit like sloppy looking, and it's not really something that belongs in a Payware add-on. In a Payware add-on. Again, here this, I don't know what this is about, but like pixelation again, and then it doesn't really blend well. And you know, considering this is probably one of the most expensive bus add-ons, it is a bit of a letdown to say the least. So yeah, let's scrutinize this bus to every little detail quickly, because we have a timetable. Yeah, there you go. Is this a sky color or what? I don't even know what this is. But you know, that's the thing. This is also kind of evident in the Man SD200 that you got some of these things where the pixels are a bit blurred and there's not the best matches when there's a change of colors or yeah, basically change of colors of designs. But sure, exterior wise, it is quite well done. You know, no complaints there. Pretty much what you'd expect. Interior wise, again, quite good. Most of these are legible. Yeah, this this is basically, I don't know what this is, but you know, can you make out? Let's see if we can make out any of these letters. That looks like a what to me. I don't know. Yeah, that's too blurred to be able to see anything. This probably says diesel, so this whatever, who knows. But yeah, not sure what this is about here. Is this just off the Mercedes-Benz they were using? Because this color and this color do not look like they match or belong in the same place. Anyway, let's get to it. First thing you probably notice is that this bus doesn't have the Mercedes branding, and like most official add-ons for Omsi 2, you know, actually getting the proper licensing doesn't seem to be something that many developers do bother with, so no Mercedes logos there. And I know some of the UK buses, they have external branding patches. This one doesn't, as far as I know. Anyway, before I keep going on about this, we better get this bus going. Yes, I'm just switching to my wheel there. Okay, so today we are doing line 302 to Bad Warm. Sorry, that Wi-Fi yoke interfered my Omsi too. So today we're doing the 302 to Bad Warmfeld, and it's going from Ebertplatz here. We're leaving at 12:15, and we should be at Bad Warmfeld at about 12:31. Now let's get those roll blinds going. So this is one of the cool features. This bus obviously has roll bands. I do quite like the roll bands. They're very they're kind of nice to use and play around with. So you control the roll bands with the F5 to F8 keys. So F5 will control this one here. So the mouse is not actually showing an OBS because I've disabled that. So it's actually the furthest right number. Anyway, so let's do F8. So we want to look for Bad Warmfeld. There we go. That's all set. What time is it? Let's check. Okay, perfect. It's 5 seconds before 12:15. So let's get out of here. We're driving a manual bus today, so there we go. You can hear it go. Now, I'm playing with an automatic clutch on because the steering wheel I have, it doesn't have doesn't have a clutch pedal. So you can use the tab key for the clutch if you want, but it's not very realistic because you don't have the bike points or anything like that. So I just don't bother. But yeah. Hello. Now let's get into the review of this quickly. So, oh yeah, actually I forgot. I have the manual here. So the manual actually has some details about the bus. So I'll just pause this quickly. So I'm just going to read here what it says about the bus we're driving today. So today, I just dropped this bus off the AI because it's quicker just to drive the AI rather than wait like the 2 minutes it takes to load in the bus. So yeah, I'm just trying to find where exactly it's hidden. All the information about the buses. So I don't think we're driving the standard bus, are we? Yes, so this comes with the Mercedes-Benz E2H84, the Mercedes-Benz E2H85, and the standard bus 1977, or the Stadtbus. Now, I think we are in yeah, I'm gonna say we're in the MBE E2H84, but it could be different. This is the Berlin variation of the O305 of the year 1984. Prototype of this vehicle was purchased in 1984 in a series of 40 buses by the BVG. So the BVG operates the buses in Berlin, and they still do to this day. During operations, you will quickly find out that they are very similar to the 200 ST of the Omsi, or Omsi 2. Yeah. So okay, yeah, nothing really there. I was actually not sure. We've got the manual, so we got the information there, so I thought we might as well read it out. Now, the other thing to note is that if you're driving the manual version of this bus, to actually get the gears to work properly, you have to turn off the cylinder yoke or turn it on. One of those two. So yeah, that's another reason why I'm rubbing off the A. I don't have to wait for that until this bus is. There we go. We have to close that door. I see. This is the other thing. I don't think the bus stop brake makes any difference to the operation of the doors, so might as well not use them. You can also control these two doors with the two switches if you want, or you can control both doors. So you can have the rear door automatic, and there's a switch that does it. It's one of the switches on one of the doors. I'm not sure which one, so, but yeah, it's there. Look, I'm sure most Omsi players have this add-on already, so there's probably no point of talking more about what's entailed within. Okay, I'm just checking there that the microphone is actually plugged in and working perfect. So, Neuendorf. Let's get into that. So Neuendorf basically is a fictional German town, and it is the intention is that it recreates a German city of the 1980s. Now it's a bit ironic that the name is Neuendorf because what Neuendorf basically means new town or new village, and of course it's technically not really a new town or village since it is it is the 1980s. But yeah, there's some irony. There's my only fuel. This bus even sounds like the man's, like it sounds very similar to the man's. Yeah, genau. They don't like the driving here, but sure, what can you do? Yeah, huh. The bus didn't even stop on it, they're already getting off. That's how eager they are to aussteigen, but sure, it is what it is. Now, this bus also has the old-fashioned doors, and this is one of those. This was, according to the manual, was a step in the right direction for low-floor bus. Like obviously, it's not low floor, but the steps were the height difference was less on the steps compared to earlier buses. Now you can also hear the sound of the doors. It does really, you get that feeling that you're driving an old bus, and it really adds to the gameplay experience. So I have my speakers on too loud, so don't want to have that sounding on there as well. Now, as you can see, you can't really fault the sounds. They are pretty much top notch, if you ask me. Do something that is quite, you know, so we can't really complain about. Now, with all that out of the way, so all the positives, let's get on to some of the let's get on to some of the less palatable stuff. Put it that way. So, probably one of the biggest things that is a bit frustrating about this add-on, to say the least, is the fact that it is €20 and its main feature is basically this bus, the Mercedes-Benz O305. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is the main feature. So this bus, like there's about 3 variations of bus, and one of the versions has the headlights a bit differently, and then the other version is like of the Stadtbus, but basically it is really the same bus. And you know, for €20, you do kind of wonder, is one bus in Omsi 2 worth €20, considering that the base game is €30, and what it does is it gives you a lot more buses, and like, you know, yeah, admittedly, those buses are similar, but at the same time, it is still more buses. A lot, like you have, I think you have about 20. I mean, okay, that figure may not be accurate, but like, it is quite a lot. And then for €20, you're getting this one bus. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the MBO 305, since it was actually in the AI of Village Bando, and this is also one of those classic buses that probably a lot of people that have some interest in transport would be aware about. But yeah, so this is definitely a bus you have probably seen around if you played Village Bando, which if you're a multiplayer, you probably should have done at some point. Yeah, so this route does go back to the core of what Omsi is about. It's, you know, it's about re-exploring history and going back in time in a digital preservation sort of way, like so. Now, the other thing about this add-on is, like, they do have this fictional town of Neuendorf to kind of make a price of €20 more justifiable. However, look, Neuendorf, admittedly, it's not a bad city. And I think one of the things is, obviously now, it's like 6 years later since this album came out, I think. You know, it's not the Omsi 1 days anymore. So even more than 6 years, it's like, what, 7, 8 years? Yeah, because Omsi 2 came out in 2013, so this is like, I think this came out when, 2012? So yeah, it's you know, 8 years. Sorry, 8 years, there we go. So, I don't know what this bus is doing. Come on, let's go. Ain't got all day here. Huh, interesting. Very interesting. That is indeed very interesting. I'm not sure what's quite happened here, let's see. There we go. Bus is started up. Yeah, this red light, we gotta run it. Yeah, I changed the gear there too early, so 302 and there. So, I think that, yep. Yeah, so this one's telling me something about the driving school being elsewhere. Oh yeah, there's our bus depot there, just like you probably saw when I went into this view, so there's our bus depot. Anyway, so back to Neuendorf. So yeah, Neuendorf is 8 years old, so in fairness, like I'd say for its time, it was probably not groundbreaking, but you know, as you can see, The thing with a lot of Omsi 1 maps is they were lacking in detail. So what I mean by that is that when you're driving around the road, you had parts with just basically empty scenery, and you know, as Omsi 2 has progressed, having proper scenery, proper shrubbery, all that has become more significant. As you can see, this map, in all fairness to it, does have all those features. So can't fault it there. Can't fault it there. However, this map is very much in the style of.
Aber fahren wir mal vernünftig hier.
I think we turned off the engine then again. Oops. Yeah, whoops, I turned the engine off again there. Oh, no, open the door, sorry there.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Okay. There we go. Now. Oh, we went into reverse. No, I don't want reverse. I want first gear. There we go. Yeah, so I'm using the shifters on the steering wheel here, so it's like technically my first time using it. It's the last time trying to do this video ended up a bit of a disaster because I hadn't looked up properly how to I didn't turn on the cylinders for this bus, so I didn't turn off the cylinder yoke I was talking about earlier, so basically the bus won't go past first gear. There's one of our colleagues. Hello. Guten Tag. But yeah, so that's the thing with this map, it is quite detailed. However, it does fall into that category of fictionist German maps, which, especially in the Omsi 1 days, was something that were quite popular. So you had like Berlin, Spandau, the 1.04, 1.4. You had all those maps that extended to Neuendorf, and then you also had a few other fictional German maps, and that's the thing. Like realistically, from a Payware add-on. Do I really want a fictional German map? But I think all these objects are default, to be honest. Like this object, this I've seen in Spandau. No, it is used again. I've seen this in Spandau as well. So that's the thing, like, for a Payware add-on, I'm basically getting like $1 for a new map, or a map that's like significant custom objects. So it doesn't really have anything that's there's the most about. Like this object, that's an Omsi. This object's an Omsi. This object's an Omsi. This object's an Omsi. They're all Omsi. See, and that's the thing, like, it kind of annoys me a bit because, this is meant to be a Payware add-on, and it's meant to give you the Neuendorf, but all Neuendorf is just another fictional German map that's kind of been done to death in Omsi 2, like, they are, like, it is good, it is enjoyable, but will I pay for it? No. Oh, well, I know I did pay for it, but like it's more the fact that I will get into it now as we continue along. But that's the thing. It kind of justifies a higher price increase when realistically gives you something that no one really needs. Like, you really need this map. Like, you do have your own map. I know that came out late, but like you do have a lot of these maps. So I don't really feel like it belongs in there at all. I have a feeling the bus should just be standalone. And the other thing is, like, the Mercedes-Benz O305 like is very similar to this, the O305G, and that's 10 euro. And it's really just this bus articulated, but sure, that's a story for another day. Anyhow, see, the thing with this add-on is, like, I'm not gonna, like, obviously I knew it's not, isn't really the best value add-on from Omsi 2. In fact, it's probably one of the, probably one of those worst value add-ons from Omsi 2. Well, depends on your perspective. Like, technically, it's one of the best value add-ons because it is this bus, the Mercedes-Benz O305, is used as the blender files, or yeah, I think it's the blender files. They are used by a lot of other freeware buses as the base files. So basically, if you want to try the Mercedes-Benz O307, the Mercedes-Benz O407, the Mercedes-Benz O303, the Manuel, and the Graf Strap, I can't remember the name of it, but that bus also has 5 buses. You need this add to actually be able to play them. So this bus actually gives you access to another 5 buses as well. So obviously that kind of adds the value, but So yeah, it gives you value for money in that sense that it unlocks a freeware buses, but in the other sense, this is actually not good value for money this addon because it gives you a fictional map that you don't need and realistically you can get for free. Lots of choice on the Omsi forums, and then it just gives you a bus that I'm sorry, no no bus in Omsi 2 is worth €20 to say the least. So that's why I'm saying it's like technically one of the worst value add-ons for Omsi 2 if you're looking at just on the DLC on a standalone basis, which I really do think is how DLC should be reviewed. Because see, the thing is, like, you know, while it does unlock the freeware stuff, the money at the end of the day is going to the developer. It's not going to, it isn't going to, you know, the freeware developers. It's going to the person who made the DLC. So, you know, and that's the thing. Like, technically, like Valve Valen now has profited on the fact that many people have used his bus as a base model for the freeware buses because it drives up their sales. Like, to be honest, that is the only reason I got it. But you know, that is that. So yeah, that's basically what I think about this island. You know, I can't really fault the bus apart from these mishmashes of textures and pixelation, and you know, lack of external branding patches. But you know, it is a really nice bus. Not gonna lie, I do quite like to drive this. The map is nice, but you know, again, I'd be able to survive without it. And to be honest, it's not something I'm really concerned about having. But yeah, there you have it. Yeah, so that's the thing. But then again, almost Omsi 2 players have it, and that's the reason because you know, a lot of the buses, especially older Mercedes buses, do use this as a base model. So it is kind of a must-have to unlock all those buses. I also just think that it's a fairly popular bus in general because the Stadtbus, I know it's kind of like has a bit of history to it. And so that's basically it. So now we're just going to continue with this route 302 here in Neuendorf. And let's see what it leads us to. So another little interesting area here with some trees on one side and some buildings on the other. Yeah, I know, that's a great description there. Okay, here we have one of those lovely dead-end roads there to the right. And yeah, also Rolf Westphalen is now working on Lotus Simulator, so I think he's working on the Munich DLC. So I think it's fair to say that a lot of people are probably aware that Lotus is more about Lotus does err more on the side of monetization and you know making money. So you know the fact that he's working for Lotus kind of does I'd say indicate, to say the least, that you know monetary gain is something that is definitely a contributing motive, to say the least. You know, I don't want to be like you know overly critical here or anything, but I do have to say like you know, and the other ones working on this I do have as well, and they are the Vienna team. And the Vienna team is a bit notorious for doing these kind of like basic money grab tactics. Like they had Vienna 1, then Vienna 2, even though it was using the same map, they pulled out for Route 1, made a completely separate map for €20 standalone. So you know, it got just like monetization tactics there, if you ask me. So kind of just goes to show that you know Lotus is very much geared towards making DLCs for profit. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, like, it should offer value for money. And I'm not really sure. I would say that the original DLCs for Omsi are value for money, like the O305 and the Vienna. Although you know, but then you have Hamburg, which is meant to be superb. I don't have it myself, mainly because like I'm not too interested. It's not something I know it's not something I'd play a lot, so it's not really something I'd make my money's worth from. But it is meant to be really good. But yeah, that's that basically. So that is the thing. So you know, I know Lotus is it's at the moment like the Alpha Wars Lotus is a bit mixed, but you know, that's the thing. People who are working on Lotus, there is definitely a making a profit as a motive there. In most cases, not in all cases, you know, but you know, that does have to be considered. Okay, kind of overshot the junction here, so that's that. I think one of the things is like for Lotus, it's not even released yet, but you have DLCs out already. And the other thing is that I was looking at one of the DLCs. So one of the DLCs at the moment is early access, and it's €35. It's gonna go up to like 40 euro when it's you know, further developed, and then finally it's going to be 50 euro. Which, if you ask me, is a bit absurd. Like 50 euro for the DLC that gives you like 2 tram lines. It's very steep, cost more than the game itself. Like that's the thing. I think one of the golden rules of DLCs is that DLCs really shouldn't exceed 50% of the base game price. And they definitely shouldn't exceed the price of the game itself. Like, look, I know a lot of time and effort goes into DLCs, and then also, obviously, especially with simulator games, like there's a lot less demand for DLC than the game itself, so it is hard to make money off it. But I think that's just one of the things about DLCs is like, it's not really where the profit's to be at. Like, it's not really where the profit is at. That's the thing. Yeah. But sure, that's all our story for another day. We're at the terminus here, so I'm not going to go on about all that. But here we are at Bad Warmfeld, and we have finished here in a really nice Mercedes-Benz O305 classic bus from the past in our fictional Bad Warmfeld. We did pass a rather nice. Oh no, we don't need. Yeah, so that's the windows. You probably don't see them, but we do have a nice little. Let's say this is a canal. It looks like a canal. So like, I think this is a custom object. Okay, so you know, fair enough. This is a custom object, so it is nice. It is nice, but you know, a lot of it's default objects. And that's the other thing. I think generally for Payware DLCs, you kind of need things to be like based off real cities, because if it's something fictional, it's just, I don't know. I just think that fictional maps don't really tend to do too well as DLCs, because if you're gonna pay for something, you kind of want to feel like it's real. It's kind of what that getting more realism out of your simulation. If the place is fictional, technically you aren't getting that much more simulation, that much more realism. But you know, it is down to perspective at the end of the day. Anyway, look, you know, I do think it's overpriced, but I'm not gonna lie, this is a nice town. I don't think I've seen this in the Berlin Spandau, so look, there definitely does seem to be at least a few custom objects, but you know, that's really that. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you would like to see more reviews of the DLCs in Omsi 2, that is definitely something I can do if that is something you guys are interested in. Hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.